Hi, yep, so I'm Richard Dennis, I'm the founder of Temtum, and I'm now the founder and chief cryptography advisor to Temtum. So I could probably tell by the accent in Welsh. Grew up in a little town, Bridgend, in South Wales. I spent first 18 years in my life down there. It was quite nice peaceful town, not much happening. Hell of a difference to London, that's for sure. So I've been building computers actually since about age 10. My old man, he used to work down tips and that, and bring home bits and pieces of computers. I was building them, figuring out what was going wrong, blowing them up, like setting fire to power supplies. That was good fun. But yeah, I've really been doing that now since about 10. I've never stopped doing it. Still building computers today, and that's really where it all started, and having fun with them. Yeah, I was very fortunate in school. So for my A levels, for example, I went through two sixth forms, so I could do computer science in one and normal ICT in the other. So that was really nice. That was the first one. They let me basically go to another school to learn that. And the network manager at the school as well, he was very friendly, and he basically took me under his wing, and I shadowed him for a while. And my first job was I finished school on the Friday, and on Monday morning then I walked back in, and I was a network technician at the time, just before university. So it was nice. But when you build them, it's fine. You understand how they work, and that's on a hardware level. And you start then having to put on software, and then software's cool, but you can only do so much. And this is back as well with MySpace, where you had to learn the little HTML tags and the colours. And from there, then really it was just right cool. Start with websites. Built the first websites. Great fun. Having seen your own website, but you're probably still up to date. And yeah, from there then a bit of Python and seeing what I could break. That was always the aim. Seeing what you could break with a bit of code. I don't really know. I've always thought I was pretty good, but it's just one of those things I just enjoy doing. I never used to compare myself to everybody else. So just go on with it basically and have fun. So like I say, I had that little summer job, technician at Pencode, and then straight away then into university, computer science bachelor's at Portsmouth University, and it was interesting. That was because I went in originally with coding, pure coding background, maths as well, and through the years I ventured away from coding to maths and more into the cryptography side of it, and from then carried on masters in computer information security. Really had some great projects then, digital forensics, like looking at hard drives, forensic analysis on that, and looking at darknets, and from then into the PhD, which I carried on all the time through Portsmouth. During the final master's project, if you like, it was a long project. We took the Tor anonymity network, and I really built a little tool just to interact with this network, so you can start sending packets down on it, just send packets and interacting with the network in a way you can't normally do. And the idea then behind this was to build up some tools then to de-anonymize users and hidden services on the network. So with my supervisor, we found so we carried on the research, and with my supervisor, he found a lot of the content on the darknet was child abuse. Basically 90-something percent, 93% I think of it was child abuse. And from then on, I couldn't ethically at all. I didn't really want to secure that network up anymore. The aim of the PhD was to secure up Tor. And when we found out on it, I don't want to participate in that at all. I didn't want to make that network stronger. I thought I was building a network for what they like to claim it to be, which is, for example, researchers, for journalists and all this sort of people. And from then on, I didn't want to carry on, so I found Bitcoin and put my attention to that. Where I started was 5-6 years ago now in cryptocurrencies, and back then, honestly, it was only used for buying a bit of drugs on Silk Road. That shows how long ago it was. And even back then, though, we found it was very hard to use. You needed to be basically a computer science educated degree level to even use the network. It was very complicated. Nobody had heard of it. It was slow, it was inefficient. And today, anybody, to give you an example, at the height of the cryptocurrency craze, my dad was asking about it. and he's somebody who just only knows the internet as Google and eBay and a few other websites. It's very basic. It's when some people like that has exposure to it and can use it, then you know it's come a long way in the last 5 years. Yeah, so Bitcoin from day one, I looked at, and we just thought, even back 5 years ago, it was, the block size was massive, blockchain size was massive, 100 gig I think it was at the time. And the foundations of the PhD was, well, look, that can't work. In the future, fair enough, mobile devices might get more powerful, but they're never going to be at the stage where users are going to want to give away basically a server spec on their phone. So we saw straight away there, look, there's problems with security, there's problems with scalability, the energy usage, even back then, to the story. So I had little miners, these Butterfly Lab miners in my office, and it was pulling so much electric, I actually got noticed in the university, so I stopped mining bitcoins in the office. So even back then you can see that energy usage was so high, and that's really what drove us to develop Temtum. We want Temtum to be what I feel Bitcoin should have been, or all cryptocurrencies should be. It's basically a global network that allows anybody then to send money fearlessly, instantly, and with later security. So it doesn't require the energy of a small country like Iceland, which Bitcoin does. Instead it requires the energy use of a house. And that's less than Visa by a long way, less than Bitcoin, less than all existing infrastructures and all existing cryptocurrencies. And we feel that this network right now is ready to launch in such a way which it can be used by the people who should be using it. So rather than it being a specialist currency that we see only computer science degree educated people use, this should be now a currency for people on the street to buy their Starbucks with, to pay for things on the internet, and for them to have what cryptocurrency should be, as far as I'm concerned, which is a very fast, very scalable, very energy efficient and secure way of transacting with each other globally, basically.